Looks like 10:30, so good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming out braving the cold. I'll call the meeting to order, and we should go around with introductions. I'll start with Jeannie Nutter.
Hello, I'm Jeannie Nutter, I'm the planning board supervisor.
I can't hear anything.
I was just introducing myself, you know me, so.
Oh, okay.
I forgot
by the
to-
way, happy birthday coming up.
Oh, thank you. I just turned my mic on, so I'm sorry.
I'm Mary Beck. I'm from Idaho.
Well, I'm Beth Killian from Arcadia, currently in Arizona, where it's a beautiful weather down here. It's going to be in the 80s this week.
Okay, be quiet now. It's below zero
will.
here.
It's horrible here.
I'll stop talking.
I'm Joan Sasala, and I'm from Independence.
I'm Colleen Schwarke, and I represent Osseo.
Rachel Herman, a volunteer from Pleasantville.
Phyllis Olson from Blair.
Volunteer?
Oh, volunteer from Blair.
Melissa Youngbauer, ADRC Supervisor.
Got Jack on the line here, apparently. Maybe. He's muted, so. Not sure. Do you know Jack?
I don't. I know
Okay.
that I had talked to, Eileen.
Oh, that could be.
That's
It
Jack
was?
A. He's from the, environment and land use. He maybe did not turn his
Okay,
computer off.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Scott Brown. I'm from the Whitehall area, so good to meet all of you. Well, at least we hadn't met Phyllis yet, so welcome to your first meeting. And yeah, we'll proceed with the agenda. Open meeting law has been met through the proper requirements. We have an agenda. I'd ask for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second it.
Colleen, Joan, okay. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I wondered where that came from. I always use, those in favor say aye, those opposed say nay, but somebody the other day said, well, it's the same sign. So I don't know. Robert's rules were always aye and nay. So yes and no. I don't know. So. Minutes from the December 3rd meeting you have in front of you. If you've had a chance to look at them, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Actually, Scott, we didn't have a quorum, so there isn't really a reason to approve those December minutes. But we did not have a quorum the last two meetings, so Melissa had sent me a quick email this morning. I think we do have minutes to approve from back in, October and August or something?
Anybody remember those minutes? Can we, can we move to approve them if we don't even remember what they say, or that's kind of history.
We didn't have a quorum was in December.
If we need an official motion, I would make an amendment or a motion, excuse me, to approve the previous minutes that haven't been approved.
Is there a second to that motion? Any further discussion about that? Pardon my throat. Well, hearing none, I'd like to ask the question then, all in favor of approving the previous minutes that have not been adopted yet, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Advisory Council vacancies, Melissa has put together a list. We still have 2 vacancies. Iona is not going to continue on the board any longer, and then we have one, Iona Semmingson? It is
So,
Semmingson,
no,
right?
I think
No.
Iola.
Oh, Iola, I'm sorry.
Stallings.
Stalling.
Yeah.
I am horrible with names, so I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. Yeah, I had just had a chance to talk to her in January, just a couple weeks ago, and what she indicated, I think any of you that had really got a chance to know her knew that she wasn't from this area. She had family that did not live locally and was looking to go back home. Yeah, yes.
We did it,
home is Warren, Georgia, I believe.
Yes.
yeah. We did introductions a little earlier. Do you want to tell the folks who you are?
Yes, hello, hi, I'm Becky Gluen, I'm the Trempealeau County Administrator here at the Government Center.
Welcome to our meeting. I thought that was maybe your stuff sitting there.
Yes, just finished another meeting, so.
Sure, one meeting after another.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll be looking for a couple of people as far as like communities. Do we have any specifics there?
I believe the last time we met, when we knew we still had one opening, we did talk a little bit about wanting to target the southern part of the county. And with Iola being from Ettrick, that leaves a gap, even a more of a gap in that area. So I do not believe we currently have any representation from Ettrick, Galesville, or Trempealeau.
What was, who did she, what,
So the 2 openings
the
would
one in
be
Iola, who did she sort of, what was her, was,
over age 60, so
Oh,
she
okay.
was an elder
you know what,
representative.
I'm gonna ask George Brandt if he might be
Okay.
interested. He's from Ettrick, former county board supervisor,
Sure.
and it might be something he'd be very interested in, and it's, maybe he's listening and, there you go. But he,
Maybe.
since it's only every other month, it might be something he can
Okay.
work into his schedule. I'll ask him.
And the way we have done this in the past is it's often been just, word of mouth. And we did announce it last time at this meeting that there was an opening. Does anybody else have any other thoughts? Anybody else have any individuals that they might know that might be interested? Another idea, we could certainly put an announcement in our newsletter for the next time if people think that might be effective, and if we want to go that route, and on Facebook.
Sounds good to me. I see heads nodding yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, again, what stands out to me is, people that are just interested in, our target groups, which are disabled persons or persons that are 60 and over, especially looking at people that know something about our programs and services. That would certainly be an area that I think would be important.
And as often happens after meetings, you think of something. So if you come up with a name, please, I think you know how to get a hold of Melissa, so please give her a call. But I think that's a good idea to put it into the newsletter and Facebook.
Okay,
All right.
I'll do that.
Apparently, it's time for election of officers as well. Iola was the vice president. I've been the chairperson or vice chair. Do we call president or
I
chair?
think we call it
Chair?
chair, yeah.
I've been the chairperson. She's been vice chair. So I don't know that we have an official secretary necessarily, and no treasurer that I'm aware
Right,
of.
no
but-
treasurer.
We have no money.
Right.
Yep, we're just advisory, so we're not voting we advise the Health and Human Services Board and, try to get our wishes known, and then they have a right to vote. So I'd entertain a nomination for chairperson. any of you would like to be chair?
I would like
I
to.
would like to make a motion that Scott Brown be chair.
I would concur.
There's a motion and a second for myself as chair. Thank you for your vote of confidence there. Anyone else like to consider stepping up to chairperson? Because I'm the only guy?
No, because you're
Because
good
you
at
do a
it.
good
Because you do
job.
such a great job.
Thank you. I just wish my voice was better today. I don't know what's going on. Well, hearing no other nominations, I guess if,
I'd make a motion to close nominations and move forward with unanimous consent.
okay.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to move forth with unanimous consent. Any objections there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now we could utilize the vice chair.
I
Anyone?
nominate Jeannie Dutter.
Nutter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nutter.
Okay. There is a Jeannie Dutter.
Is there?
I'm often mistaken. She's much younger.
Okay, we have a motion by Colleen, seconded by Joanne, for Jeannie Nutter to be vice chair. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? I didn't ask 3 times for myself. Any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, I guess entertain a motion for unanimous decision here.
I move that it is
I'll make that motion.
for preparing none.
Okay,
J.D. Nutter, excuse me.
Okay.
okay.
My throat is goofy,
Joan
too.
moved it.
And
Beth, do you want a second?
Beth seconded it.
Okay.
Yes, I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I guess I can miss a meeting now and then, because you'll be here if I'm not.
Okay. We can only hope.
Yeah, gonna try not to miss any
As
meetings,
long as
so,
no trees fall on my husband again, we're good.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, I pray that those huge pines don't fall on my place. Got some really big ones in the neighborhood there.
Just so they don't fall on you.
Amen. Okay, the next item on our agenda, the ADRC loan closet.
Okay, so we try to highlight one of our programs and services. Oh, hello, Dawn.
Yes, so sorry
Hi.
I'm a little late. I had something come up at work.
Okay, that's okay. We try to highlight one of our programs or services for every meeting, and I got to thinking that it seems that there are not a lot of people that, well, I should say that not everybody is really aware that we do have an ADRC medical loan closet. So when I even had asked Scott and ran by our tentative agenda with Scott, I think you said you were not aware that we have a loan closet.
I hadn't been, although I did talk to Rita a while back and realized that you did.
Okay,
So,
yeah. So just thought it'd be a good time to let people know about that. So I know at one point, the Veterans Office here at the courthouse did have a loan closet, I think. So Rachel, you're shaking your head. You remember that? Yes, yes. And I think a few years ago, they stopped their loan closet. So they don't have a loan closet anymore, but we've always
That was going
had.
to be my question,
What's that?
Melissa. Sorry, but that was going to be my question. I'm familiar with the VA's loan closet, but I did not know that had stopped and that is now that's gone away and that the ADRC has one. So that's
Yes.
something I didn't know.
Yep, so the VA does not have one here in our county.
And I didn't know that either. When
Okay.
my husband left the hospital, the VA was one of the places that he was directed to for some equipment that he might have needed.
Okay,
Yeah, so the hospital here might need to know that information.
okay.
I can't hear whoever's talking.
I'm sorry, I was just saying I didn't know either. And
Okay.
Gunderson had directed my husband to the VA when he was released
Yeah.
to get some equipment, but he didn't need it, so we didn't go there. So maybe you could let them know. since you're there.
I was just gonna say, I think I'll connect Beth and Rosemary to you, Melissa, and
Sure.
just let them know about that
Yeah.
change.
And I will say, I believe probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, even Rosemary, one of the social workers, had reached out to us and we've helped her with clients. So they do know, but it's not a bad idea just to remind people there. And it's not been a new development with VA stopping that. It's been several years that they have not done it. So just, yeah, yes. And as long as I've been at the ADRC, which is over 3 years now, we have had our loan closet. So I'm glad we're letting people know about this. And so just wanting people to know that we do have a variety of items. We have wheelchairs, we have walkers, transfer chairs, commodes, shower chairs, crutches, incontinence supplies. That's a pretty big item that there's a demand for, and we do have those. And there are
You don't want to
some-
loan those, though, right? You just give
we
those.
just
to-
give
okay.
those, yes, we
Thank
do, we do,
To
Scott.
clarify.
Thank you for, yes. Thank you, yes, that is a good point. So letting people know there is no cost to our loan closet, and there is no term limit. So, and we don't really even expect that we will receive items back. However, we will gladly take items back, and we do take items back, okay? And so just wanting people to be aware of this. We have a small office in our ADRC space. Joan just toured our area and saw the office does have some of our most popular items. So we have a wheelchair and a walker in that small office. But the bulk of our items is stored up in the jail. So if you were to come right now and say, I need a transfer bench, I would go upstairs to the jail and get that. So just kind of making people aware of that.
Melissa,
Yes.
how do you get items for your loan closet?
It's all donations. So, just even this week, we had somebody that, one of our staff whose family member passed away, and just yesterday she brought in a wheelchair and a walker. So we accept any items that are in like new or, good condition, safe condition, from anybody. It could be anybody. So we do regularly accept those.
Melissa?
How
Yes.
do you make people aware of your desire to have items donated?
It's all been pretty much word of mouth, I feel, up until this point. So I just, last week, I think it really was that, and I think it's more visible now because in our new space, so much of our storage is up in the jail. So I'm just like myself been up and down, and staff have been up and down. And so I really just started to think about who does know about this. Like I said, it's pretty much been word of mouth, and we have not admittedly done a really great job of tracking either. And I'm getting ready to work on our annual report. And so I wish I would have the data right now to say we loaned out 60 items in 2024, but we haven't tracked it. We have just started tracking that now in January, so.
Melissa, why don't you put exactly what you've told us in the newsletter?
Good
your
idea.
Next newsletter. And maybe you don't need the exact number, but the categories that you just told
Yep.
us, and perhaps put an item out on Facebook. And then with that, maybe say that you would take in donations. There are several people that I know that have just kept stuff in their house because
Yes,
they don't want to get rid of it because they are afraid somebody in the family might need it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm working on our next newsletter right now, so I think that's great, just to highlight the program.
How much if somebody wants it, is it free?
It's
or-
absolutely free, Mary.
Okay.
Yep, there is no
I-
charge.
I just wondering, because when somebody asks me that,
Yep,
And then, Melissa,
no charge.
too, I'm so sorry. It's hard to tell when somebody's talking, so I don't mean to talk over somebody.
Sure.
She has
No,
a soft voice, so.
yeah. You're
ahead, Dawn.
good. You're good, Dawn.
I was just wondering if somebody were to need something and they weren't of age, right? You know, Aging and Disability Resource Center would suggest that it needs to be somebody who is a senior. Are you able to give out from the loan closet to somebody, say, who's 48 and had something happen and they need a wheelchair temporarily?
Right,
Is
so
there any
that,
restrictions?
yeah, absolutely. But if they were 48 and even like what you're describing, we would consider that a short-term disability. And so absolutely, we would,
Okay.
yeah, we would. And we have actually had, just to give an example, I know towards the end of 2024, we actually had a family reach out to us who they had a youth that had an injury. They needed a knee scooter. That's an item we often have, multiple knee scooters, and so they needed it. And so because they weren't specifically in our target group, yeah, we absolutely loaned it to that individual. So. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And that tends to be a lot of what we see. It's people that, it's almost like a same day, or people are in a situation where they need that piece of equipment. They don't have time to necessarily work with insurance, et cetera. It might be temporary, so they don't want to pay for these items. So I feel like it's working out really well. It's meeting a
So to
need
that-
that's unmet.
That's a really good question, though. Like, you're right. A lot of these are urgent, right? Because people can't wait for them, or you have to travel to La Crosse to pick something up because we don't have the provider locally. Is there the capability of getting anything out of the loan closet after typical business hours?
I don't know. I have not been asked that question.
There's nobody there,
Probably not.
so, I mean, you're not there.
I'm not there. I don't know how that would work, I guess.
I guess I'm suggesting, like, is there, since you're using the jail storage area, I mean, people are obviously in the jail, like, I'm just kind of curious, and maybe this is going to complicate things too much, and that's fine, but I just thought it would be worth exploring, because it is typically after normal business hours or weekends are a lot of the times when people are urgently needing something.
Yeah. Something we can certainly think about. Yeah, I've not been asked that question before, and
It would have to be worked out with the jail and the sheriff, and to figure out how
For
they
sure.
would get it down there
Yeah.
and who would be responsible for it, and, you know, so
Is it
it
something
is a
they could even
longer,
manage?
it's a longer discussion than here, I think.
yeah.
Sure.
What procedure would you prefer for people who have items? You don't want them just to bring them and drop them off. I'm sure you call and contact first, talk with you or Rita or,
Well, the thing about the ADRC, we're always here. So we don't necessarily need to be contacted first. So, you know, Becky is typically the person that is our first line, like our front line person. And so, I believe, Becky, if somebody came in and they had a wheelchair or walker, you'd probably call the intake worker or myself, right, to process through that and accept the donation. So, yeah, not necessary. I mean, it can't hurt just for somebody, especially if they were coming from another part of the county, they just want a confirmation that we'll accept it. But we would. Anything that's in good condition, if it's not in good condition, the directives that we just wouldn't accept it because it's not safe. So,
just, I guess I was just thinking a hospital bed or a Hoyer lift or something that's huge. You know,
yeah.
you wouldn't want somebody just wheeling it through the front door.
No, yeah, right.
so-
No, we couldn't
Yeah.
have that.
So there might be exceptions, but okay.
Although we have had items of a larger nature of like what you are describing, if somebody were to contact me today and were to say, I have a hospital bed that I don't know what to do with it, we have had success posting that on Facebook and saying, we're aware of this if there's a need, and we have been successful with that. Because bottom line is we want to help people, and if somebody has a need for a bed, we will do what we can to advertise that, so.
The family care organizations know about the loan closet, and I know, having come from that area, I know that it's difficult at times to try to connect people with something used, but maybe things have changed Medicare, Medicaid quite often wants people to have brand-new stuff. So I don't know. I'd rather,
Yeah, I
rather
guess-
spend $25,000 for an electric wheelchair, instead of somebody that has one available, and, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I guess I can't say for sure who does. I have not spoken to anybody in the managed care that I can say has used our services. But I think if we put it in the newsletter, I think that's a really great way to advertise that and let people know about it.
sounds
Yeah.
good. Other questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much. 2024 Senior Farmer Market Nutrition Update.
So I think probably most of you have heard of the Senior Farmers Market vouchers. It's a state program where every county in the state receives a certain number of vouchers that can be given to individuals that meet the income guidelines. And so it's something that we've talked about every year, and we have really made I think a great effort to try to distribute all of our vouchers, and wanting to just let people know about, we did hear back from the state the beginning of January then, and they report as far as the number of vouchers that were redeemed in our county. So I wanted to give a highlight, give a acknowledgement of the excellent work that the staff at the ADRC did with those. We achieved a 74% redemption rate with our vouchers, which is really right in line with the state average. In our county, we received 235 vouchers, and we distributed all but 2 of those. So we distributed 233, and there was a 74% redemption rate. So that's pretty darn.
That's really good.
Yeah, it is. It is really good. Again, that's right on par with the state average, but just wanting to highlight even some of our neighboring counties. So Eau Claire, for example, they received 350 vouchers. So we received 235 vouchers. So I feel like that's not that far. I mean, like, we receive a lot of vouchers, and the reason we receive comparatively a lot of vouchers is because we have done such a great job historically. So if counties don't do as well, they start cutting the number of vouchers they receive and giving them to other counties that are distributing them. So, for example, Eau Claire County, they had a 70% redemption rate. Buffalo County, they had distributed 53 vouchers. They had a 55% redemption rate. Jackson County, 147, 56% redemption rate. La Crosse County, 407, and they had a 71% redemption rate. So again, I just feel like with our small ADRC with 7.5 staff, I feel like that many vouchers is pretty darn good, and our staff have really, again, like, made it a priority to get out. We're at all of our meal sites, we're out in the communities to distribute them. And then the redemption rate, that's met in part too because we have made transportation available to individuals to get to those farmers market, and we've just really highlighted and wanting, because it's really a win-win for the individuals to get those vouchers. And also we want the farmers in our area to benefit as well, because the more we can have people using the vouchers on that fresh produce, it's good for them too. So, yeah, so any questions about the vouchers or about what?
Remind me how you request them again.
So every county in the state does have an allocation. So we don't, I mean, we're just participants in the program. I think every county in the state is given
What I'm
given an
meaning is
allotment.
how does an individual within the
Sure.
county?
Sure. So many ways. So with our outreach, so people can come to the ADRC and fill out a application and get the vouchers that same day. So that's the most basic way that we distribute the vouchers. So I think that's the way all counties do it. But then the state wants us to be getting out and distributing them and doing that outreach. So that's where we really, I think we've gone really above and beyond what a lot of counties do, because just tooting our own horn here, we do a lot of outreach, and I think that's evident in the amount that we're seeing and distributed. So again, we got out to all of our senior meal sites, we got out to some of our senior apartments, some of just other events that were happening in our county last year.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or gearing up? So again, starting this spring, we'll learn how many vouchers we'll receive, and then we make a plan as far as how we will try to beat this year's numbers. So,
New challenge.
new challenge, yes.
Okay, we're up to number 9 on the agenda, revision of ADRC, et cetera.
Okay. So, so we have recently revisited our ADRC volunteer paperwork. So we have several volunteers, ADRC volunteers here. So just letting people know that in the past, for example, we did not have an actual volunteer handbook, and we did not have a code of conduct. So just letting people know that we've revisited those, and so I think we've got some things in place now that are good for our volunteers and will help us train volunteers. The county has also updated our confidentiality policy. So the policy that people would have signed off on 6 or 8 months ago is now in need of being updated. So wanting people, a couple things. So I'm now have the task of getting policies, updates, signatures, and gathered on about 55 to 60 volunteers. So wanting feedback from people, from all of you, of how I might best gather those signatures and meet with people to update that paperwork. I did want to let you know that I am planning a volunteer event similar to what we did back in 2023. If any of you were at that, we did a volunteer appreciation dinner. So I am wondering what you all would think about the beginning of that dinner, maybe having a time where we actually would go through those changes in policy and in the paperwork, and asking people to bring in like their current copies of insurance too, so we could get that updated as well. Does that seem?
That seems
sense.
like a place where everybody's going to be, instead of trying to reach out to all of them individually. That would be a
Okay,
large task.
it would be. Does
And I
it
think
seem like, so my fear, or just what I want, just to ask people's feedback, so we want to thank these wonderful volunteers. Is it appropriate, do you think is that okay to do business at the beginning?
Yeah, and let
Okay.
know ahead of time. There'll be like a half an hour
Yeah.
business meeting prior to, and then let people know what is going to be expected. That they have to sign this again. It's something they have to do when policies are changed or updated.
Yeah.
And please, bring your information or a copy of it, so you don't have to run to a copy machine somewhere and
Yeah.
deal with it. So people know ahead of time. often there's a business meeting before banquets.
Okay, good.
I was just at a banquet this weekend, and we had a very long business meeting before
Okay.
we ate.
Okay. I think it would, to me, be the
Yeah,
the
makes
easiest way
sense.
to, okay.
Very
it's a-
efficient.
Yeah, it's a friendly environment, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree, definitely.
Colleen, you need to turn your mic on. There, now it's on.
Okay. I agree with Jeannie, and maybe you could contact everyone by email or however you normally contact them, and just give them a list of what to bring with, and then they have a hard copy of it too, and I think it's a good idea.
Okay. And then moving forward, you know, we will need to update this paperwork, so maybe just annually, that's kind of what we do then, is then next April, because April is volunteer month. So we can, you know, annually recognize our terrific volunteers and then get this paperwork. Okay. 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 And so what we were, the last banquet we had, I think went really well. It was at Sweet Temptations in Whitehall. I guess just looking for some feedback on maybe menu choices. Do you feel it would be, would people prefer to do more of like what we did the last time, where we had a meat and then it was a starch and a vegetable and a salad? Or would you prefer to have more of a, they've got an option which would be like a deli, like make your own sandwich, build your own sandwich, homemade soup and salad? What would you all
I think the
prefer?
first would be more preferable to people. That's what we did in 23, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, and it was very, you know, it's always good.
Yeah,
And if it's in the evening, that's better than build a sandwich, honestly.
okay.
I mean, that's just
Okay.
my thought.
That's why I want to ask you all. Yeah, so,
BYOS, build your own sandwich.
is that your vote?
No,
Okay.
no, I think it's nice just to have somebody set a plate in front of you, especially if you just had a business meeting and you're sitting and thinking, now, don't have to make more decisions. So, yeah.
Something hot, you know. Although April, I don't know, we could have a blizzard.
We could, yeah.
Not, you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
been happened before. Good.
I appreciate that feedback, yeah, thank you. So stay tuned, yes, and we will be sending out invites, haven't worked out the details, but some via email, some maybe by mail, et cetera, so. And all of you will be invited.
Do you have a date?
Thinking April 2nd,
Oh, that's pretty
Wednesday,
soon.
April 2nd,
Okay.
yeah.
What day? Is that a Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what time?
I was thinking, when we did it last time, it was late afternoon.
Yeah, I just, I'm teaching confirmation until 5 o'clock on every Wednesday,
Okay.
but if I have to miss the first part of it, somebody can catch me up.
Busy guys.
You are busy, yeah, he has a lot of conflicts.
Some days. Well, thank you. That's a lot of good information, and with thanks to our volunteers as well.
Yes,
Those of you that
yes.
ongoingly drive and bring meals and visit people, take people to appointments. It's all wonderful stuff, so thank you. Nutrition Council update.
Okay.
The Nutrition Committee met on January 28th at Pine Creek before the meal. Sammy explained something that we weren't aware of before, the Cupid Crew, and Trempealeau County will receive 125 red roses. This is through ARP, and they will be delivered to the home-delivered meal people on or as close to Valentine's Day as possible. So that sounded real interesting.
I think it's gonna be so fun, yeah.
Yes.
So ARP, yeah.
ARP.
Really cool.
We received a grant, yes, so it was, yeah, Wish of a Lifetime.
Wish of a
and
lifetime
ARP.
through ARP.
Yeah, and so we received the grant. Did she tell you there was thousands and thousands of, organizations that applied, and we received this. So if any of you, I just want to say this to people, if any of you would like to dress up and wear red or pink and go out and actually see what a meal route, what that's all about, next Friday would be the day to do it, because we're just hoping to get extra people to go out and make people's day. So next, on Valentine's Day. Yes. It's on a Friday this year, right, yeah. So, we will have our regular, you're probably driving that day, I'm guessing, Colleen? No,
No,
you're.
Marion's is,
Okay,
but yes.
Okay. But so I plan on going out, and I'll just go with one of the regular drivers that day, so, yeah. So I think it's gonna be super fun, it's exciting. And that day we have kids as well, students that are making cards. That will also go out that day to the recipients. So it's gonna be super fun.
To add to that, Sammy said that 2,700 people, organizations requested it or applied for it, and we were one of 291 that got awarded it. So that's,
Nice.
really brings it down. So it's pretty cool.
You need to come to a county board meeting and let us know about all this cool stuff happening. We need some good news.
The next thing she talked about, and this is something new, an Irish dinner. She is being planned at the Wanick Center. The food will be provided by the Ashley Pub, and it will be on Friday, March 7th at noon. And they'll also do some bingo or games after this. You will have to register like you do other meals.
The senior meal program?
Yes. And then in February now, ADRC is having Refer a Friend launch to encourage new people to attend these meals. We have forms that I passed out at Strum, where you invite a friend that is 60 or over that has never been to any of the meals, and there is a T-shirt and a prize for the guest that you bring. And this is through the month of February. Anything to add to that? Oh, okay.
So it's any Tuesday or Thursday in Strum? Or on all the
wherever.
places?
Yes, any,
Cool.
the whole county. And then in Arcadia, or at the Wanick Center, they have developed a new dining menu encouraging new people to come. It's similar to Whitehall, or to the Cafe 60. You get, when you register, you have to give they're numbered, and then you have to give that number, and that meal will be ready for you then. And that, too, is encouraging new people. Anything? And then Sammy gave the numbers of, for the people that have been attending, the congregate numbers for November, the total, I'm just going to give you the total, was 1,009 meals at the congregate centers. In December, it was down a little to 720. Then for home-delivered meals, November, it was 1,581 meals. In December, then we were up. It was 1,663 meals. And then Sammy also gave an update on the new fitness center in the Whitehall Memorial School, and then some other programs that are being planned at the Whitehall Library through ADRC.
Thank you, Rachel.
Those two that are, the two that I wrote down that they're being planned is, February 19th is on estate planning, and it can be for any age group, but of course geared to 60 and plus. And then in March, March 5th, it'll be on medical fraud. You know, what to watch out for and don't give any information and so forth, but.
Rachel, I just have a quick question about the fitness center at the, in Whitehall. Are there certain hours, or what are they? I've
There
forgotten.
are certain hours.
There are certain hours, just letting people know there was an open house on January 24th. We had 80 individuals that toured the space that day. There are open hours. It's typically morning hours, Monday through Friday, afternoon hours, Monday through Friday, and then Monday through Thursday, there are evening hours.
Are there like at 6 to 9? Is there a time frame?
Yeah, so I can, if you would like, I can go through it. So Monday
You
through.
could just email it to
Okay,
us.
sure,
Okay.
yeah. And it was on this, like the school district's
Yeah.
Facebook page,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
no need to go. You can just
okay.
email that.
I had
Okay.
the schedule right on the door. I took a picture of it on my way out, just to
Oh, okay.
be
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
I will just, thank you for that great update. That's really good information. Just letting people know that that change at Arcadia really has gone over well. I think we had talked about the numbers had really dipped in Arcadia for whatever reason. We had been trying to determine why that was, kind of trying to turn things around. And I know that now at the end of January, numbers were back up around 20, which is pretty darn good. And the feedback from the diners has been really positive. People are liking that change, and they're liking that choice. I think Sammy was at Cafe 60 last Wednesday, and that day they hit or set a new record there. It was into the 60s that day at that Cafe 60.
It's really full.
Yeah, were you there? Okay. So people are enjoying that choice, I think.
I was actually there with a new person who had just turned 60 not too long ago, and it was kind of funny. She has one of those bracelets that gets soldered onto your wrist.
Yeah.
And it got caught in her purse. And so she couldn't take the bracelet off to get it off the purse. So I spent almost 20 minutes working on her wrist. Everybody was giving me a hard time, what are you doing, Scott? And took a picture of it and, the whole ball of wax. So it was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
And the introduction of the Irish dinner is just, we're trying to be creative because those have gone so well. And, funds for additional dining, such as the cultural dinners, we don't have that. And so trying to incorporate the cultural dinners and some specific, menu options into the dinners we're already providing. So we chose to do that. Well, it's fitting, I feel, for Arcadia with the Ashley Pub being the food provider. And I think it'll be really good. It's a, corned beef and cabbage. There's, I think, an Irish cheesecake. It's going to be, I think, a really good dinner. So
I'm getting hungry.
I know, right? Right? I know. And I think what we'll do is we'll do busing to that. So
nice.
we'll get some people that'll have that opportunity to get bused there.
It's at Wanek, right?
At Wanek. Yeah. So.
It's a very nice setting. They do a wonderful job. I used to go almost every Wednesday, but when we started Cafe 60, I thought, why should I drive 17 miles one way to go to lunch when I can walk from the church office over here? So, yeah.
And this
Works
will
out
be on a
nice.
Friday, so
Yep,
maybe you can go.
I can go. Yep. Got some folks I can meet over there. Gonna start calling them. Wonderful. Thank you both for Colleen and Rachel for the information. And yeah, it's amazing how people can take advantage, and the people love the concept of the menu over here, I think, and the fact you don't have to call ahead. And we've had people just driving through Whitehall and stopping in, and because they're over 60, they're allowed to come and have the meal for $5, and they just love it. So, yeah, it's great. I should say $5 donation, right?
Yes, that's right.
Be specific on that one. Anything else on nutrition?
Just wanting to remind everybody, or maybe not everybody is aware of this, but our current food provider contracts for both home delivered meals and senior meals run through December 31st of 2025. So we're in our second year of a 2-year contract. So it won't be too long before we already start engaging in discussion about our next contracts. And the reason I tell you about that is one of the reasons I tell you about that is because we do continue to get requests. People contact us and say, what do I need to do? I want to start providing senior meals. Really would like to do that Monday through Friday, for example. Like that's one of the requests that I recently gave and, or was given. And again, we have only so much money that we have in order to provide these meals. It's not a limitless budget. If we could, we would certainly want to get more providers involved, and we would have more days, et cetera. But that's going to be something that we'll be looking at all of you for as guidance going into these next contracts. Do we like what we're doing now? Do we need to make any tweaks? Providers will need to give us, people that want to be involved in dining in our county need to give us, new pricing. What would they charge us? All of those things. So that's going to be something big that's going to be a task for all of us coming up probably this summer. So.
Just another little blurb, I suppose, on nutrition. The Ruth organization, Rural Unity Through Hope, is one we meet monthly. We've been meeting at the Peace Lutheran Church in Pigeon Falls. ADRC is now kind of partnering with Ruth, and one of the projects that started last year was a garden, a community garden, and it was done at the high school. If you drive up that way, you see all these plots. I think they're 40 by 40 or something, and a number of I think probably more Hispanic families in the area would participate in those. And Tekla Bacon from Pigeon Falls is one that is really involved, and Deborah Pate, who lives just over here on the River Road, had kind of started that whole process. And this year, we're looking at the possibility of Independence and Blair creating some community gardens. So I'm not much of a gardener, so I haven't gotten real involved in that sort of thing, but they're looking for community members to do that. We don't know if the cultural dinner that was held in Arcadia, they were supposed to be able to use some of the food from that garden. I don't know if they did. But eventually, Kayla Matson, the librarian in Independence, had gotten a $4 million grant to build a new library. And she's going to build it, or they're going to build it in the Four Seasons Park area. And it's probably start this summer or this fall. And there's plenty of room there, and eventually there'll be a guy there. She's, very much behind it. Kayla's amazing. And so that's in the works. And so, Ruth is something that if anybody has a desire to be a part of it, it's open to anybody, kind of interdenominational, even non-denominational, but, it's one of those things that, it's designed to just help the community. And, we get involved with the health fair for the Latin American population, and so we will see. Lots of challenges for that population right now with this immigration stuff going on, and, we meet generally the third Monday at 6:30 of every month at the Peace Lutheran Church, the basement of the Peace Lutheran Church in Pigeon Falls. I suppose. Yeah, it's also the Town of Lincoln Sanitary District night. I'm there at 5 and then over Ruth at 6:30, so. But, there are other things that, if you're interested in it, we could try to get you on a mailing list or something. And Ellen Hauser is the secretary for Ruth, and she emails out all kinds of stuff. So, get your name and email address, and we could get you involved there. But, yeah, it's a new collaboration with ADRC and Ruth, so we're happy about that. Ruth is kind of an offshoot of Jonah from the Eau Claire area, and the greater, what is the name of the greater? Drawing a total blank right now, but Wisconsin has an organization that Jonah is a part of, and 501c3 status and that sort of thing. So, all right, supervisor report.
Okay, just a few things that I will highlight. In January, we did have a hospice and a palliative care seminar. That was here in Whitehall. We partnered with a couple other hospice agencies that really did that presentation, but I think it went really well. Great information. Wanted to let people know that the last meeting, I did tell you that we had just hired our dementia care specialist. And so, again, her name is Trish Rodering. She's a half-time staff. And she has started receiving referrals, so just kind of wanting to let you all know about that. She's working with people, and she is starting her first support group. So it's going to be a virtual dementia support group starting February 19th. So, we'll be highlighting that in our next newsletter, Facebook, getting some flyers out to senior meal sites, all of that. But pretty exciting, right? Wanting to let people also know that Strong Bodies is actually up and going, and interest has been very, very strong. So we currently have one Strong Bodies class. Again, that's an evidence-based strength training program. It is at the Whitehall School District, so it is in that space where the fitness center is. And it's been amazing. We have 30 individuals participating in that. 30 people registered and participating. And we actually had to turn people away because there is that much interest. And, we have 2 instructors, but upwards of 30 people is like not, that's too many. So it's just amazing to see. It is so fun to see all of these individuals come in and just ready to get stronger, wanting to be well, wanting to be healthy. And we have 2 volunteers that are leading that class, and they're doing just an excellent job. And so just wanted to give you that update. The interest is so very strong that we are looking at hoping to continue that class in April, starting another 12-week class. So stay tuned for details about that. And that is a class. It's a full day training, but we receive grant funds to train people. And so really, the sky is the limit is if we have people that are interested and willing to do that class. So if any of you are interested, or if you know people that are interested, we have the funds to train people, and we have the equipment. It's just a matter of, that's the tough part. And that is getting people to do the classes. And that's consistent with throughout the entire state. Right? Finding the volunteers. And that is it's a doable class, but it does take some expertise. I mean, several of you have taken that class, you know what it's like, and it does take some expertise in order to do that class, right? It's more than like our Walk with Ease it's a more simplistic program. I'm trained to do the Walk with Ease, but the Strong Bodies it's a little bit,
More intense.
it's more intense, yes, yeah, so, but, just wanting to let you all know that, it's a really cool thing to see all of those people, participating, so. And that really is all the only updates that I have. We're working on our annual report for 2024. I think I said that earlier. And so at the next meeting, I will add that to the agenda. And so you can hear about a summary of all of we accomplished in 2024.
Questions for Melissa? Okay. Under our open comments, I just want to thank Melissa and her staff for all the wonderful things that are going on in our communities. And it's pretty cool. And every time the newsletter comes out, it's fun to read about, the highlighted people, the highlighted staff, the different things that are going on. It's just, I think it's pretty incredible for a small, small Trempealeau County. And, that you came in kind of with a running start, and that Trempealeau County was one of the original counties that started ADRC way back in the day when I was working in the courthouse. And it's pretty cool that out of those 4 counties, I think we were maybe the smallest.
One of them for
Yeah,
sure.
Yep,
yes.
yep. And, just things are going well, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, and I
welcome.
appreciate all of you. It's just an honor to work with all of you, and thank you for being here. It really, yeah.
Everything that you do.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I want to reiterate the thank you, because I'm new to this, but every time I talk about another topic or hear another topic, I'm just amazed at all the activity. I wanted to do one extension of what Scott talked about. Independence has got the funding for a community center with a library in it. And the community center will also have a food pantry, and they'll have an after-school care program in it. There's also an area where they'd like to have the seniors do things in the morning. And so I'm just hoping that Kayla speaks and the library board speaks with the ADRC, because I think there's some partnerships there that we should definitely look at and probably talk about as the building's being created. So I would encourage that, and I'll talk to Kayla
Yeah,
too.
look forward to that opportunity, and, I think you knew this, that the Wine Women Dementia event, that was a
Yes.
partnership with the
Wonderful.
library and with Kayla, and
Yeah,
I can't
she's- yeah.
say enough good things about Kayla, and that's what we love to do, is work with other organizations, partners in our communities, because that we all want the same things, and so working smarter, not harder, and
Right.
with
And
that.
I believe that the library was the initial push for it, but she's expanded it to so much more.
Yeah.
And none of that other stuff is available quite readily right now in Independence, so that's a pretty nice thing for the future.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to bring it up again, I guess, the scam stuff. Just yesterday, as we were doing announcements over here at Our Saviors, David Anderson, the president of the congregation, stood up and said that there was a couple, he didn't name any names, but a couple from Whitehall who were scammed out of $200,000 recently. And he just, reiterated that be very careful with the phone calls. I don't even answer a phone call long distance unless I know the number. I usually, with my phone, I can hit voicemail. If somebody really wants me to, leave a message. My phone number has been utilized in scams in the past. Just this morning on the CBS morning news, the local news, I think Chippewa Falls Police Department is saying that there's a scam where people are calling up and saying, you didn't come to the jury, or you were called to jury duty or something. So if somebody calls and says something about jury duty, just hang up. It's a scam, because they're gonna be looking for your social security number.
Yeah, they wanted all that info
Yep,
over the phone.
yep, they were asking for that information. The sheriff's department will never do that. IRS will never do that. Social Security doesn't call you up and ask. I mean, there's just, I think the number that was, I attended the session they had at the library here a while back on a Wednesday evening. There were only about 5 of us. I wish there had been 500. But the gentleman who works for the, I'm not recalling the agency, but I think he said 25 billion, with a B, billion dollars last year was scammed from people in the United States. It's just horrible. So we have to be diligent. We have to be careful. I think I've been scammed on a couple different things of, $999 at a time. So, yeah, we just throwing that out there again. Be very, very careful.
Disgusting people.
Yep, very disgusting.
They sit in a room, they rent a place, and there's a bunch of people on computers, and when somebody finally says yes, they weep for joy and start stealing your money. I just put a freeze on all of my credit bureau stuff yesterday.
I just hang up. I said, don't call me no more. Don't use my telephone number.
Don't
Just
even say
lose it.
anything. Just hang up.
lose it. So then I hang up, and Tasha says, say something. Say, don't use my telephone number no more. Just lose it. And
don't care
some of them do. Some of them lose it. They don't. I just don't want to hear it anymore.
Heard an interesting tactic from one of the gals from the Pigeon Falls Healthcare Center. She's talking to me after worship one day, and she said, those people call me. She said, I talked to them a little bit. She said, I'll listen to what you have to say if you just pray with me first. And then they say, what did you say? She said, just pray with me, and click, they hang up on the other end.
Well, they're just so terrible people, such terrible people.
Yep. Any other
Said,
comments?
We've got the SAM's presentation coming up in March.
It'll be a good one.
On,
The scam, so it's Senior Medicare Patrol.
okay.
Yeah, they
March
did a
5th.
presentation about 2 years ago. We had them come and they did that in Arcadia. It was very good. So this is gonna be in Whitehall, so.
Anything else to be brought forth today with no action taken? Okay, well, we've come to the end of our agenda. Thank you so very much for coming.
Thanks, everyone.